Modern culture glorifies self-made narratives. Do it yourself. Build it alone. Prove your worth through exhaustion. That philosophy creates competence. But it does not create power. If everything depends on you, your expansion stops where you stop. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your attention is limited. Dependency disguised as ambition is still dependency. Power begins when results move without your direct effort. When outcomes advance and you didn't have to intervene. When progress continues and your presence was not required. That is leverage. And leverage is the first language of power. Those at the top rarely look exhausted. Not because they lack discipline, but because they are not competing in effort. They are competing in control. Control scales. Effort does not. Law 7 sounds simple. Make others do the work. Take the credit. Most people resist that idea immediately because they interpret it as exploitation. But that reaction is emotional, not strategic. Power is not about stealing effort. It is about owning direction. In every structure, there are two essential forces, execution and coordination. Executors move tasks forward. Coordinators decide where tasks move. Movement creates activity. Direction creates ownership. Ownership creates authority. If you measure your value by how much you personally produce, you are building skill. Skill makes you useful. Power makes you central. Useful individuals are replaceable. Central figures are not. Systems protect what they depend on structurally, not what they admire emotionally. Modern professionals fall into a predictable trap. The more capable they become, the more responsibility they absorb. They solve problems faster. They repair inefficiencies. They rescue failing projects. And because they can handle pressure, they are given more of it. Soon, the structure relies on their output. That feels important. But importance is not influence. If a system collapses without your labor, you are a high-value operator. If a system functions because of your direction, you are a strategist. Workers are respected. Strategists are elevated. Credit does not flow toward effort. It flows toward structure. Hierarchy consolidates recognition at the top by design. Consider a company launching a major initiative. Engineers build it. Designers refine it. Teams execute the details. But one individual defines the objective, aligns the talent, and approves the strategy. When success arrives, that individual becomes associated with the outcome. Execution built the result. Positioning owned it. If your growth depends on your personal productivity, your ceiling is visible. You can only work so many hours. You can only produce so much energy. But if results expand through others, your ceiling dissolves. This requires a shift in thinking. Instead of asking, how can I complete this faster, ask who can complete this under my coordination. Instead of becoming the most efficient executor in the room, become the one who defines what must be executed. Efficiency earns praise. Direction earns power. Strategic delegation is not abandonment. It is architecture. You identify strengths. You assign roles deliberately. You remove friction. You centralize final decisions. Every meaningful outcome must trace back to your positioning, not loudly, but structurally. When initiatives originate from your design, authority stabilizes. When approval requires your oversight, influence compounds. You are no longer inside the machine. You are the axis around which it turns. Axes do not strain. They sustain movement. There is a difference between weak power and durable power. Weak power extracts and discards people. Durable power integrates and retains them. If those around you grow because of your direction, loyalty forms. Loyalty strengthens structure. Strong structure multiplies outcomes. And multiplied outcomes elevate position. This requires emotional discipline. You must resist the temptation to prove yourself through visible effort. You must tolerate moments where others receive attention for execution because your objective is not applause. It is ownership. The visible worker receives recognition in the moment. The invisible architect receives authority over time. Time favors structure. And structure favors those who control it. If you are constantly exhausted proving your value, you are competing in visibility. Power competes in inevitability. The most dominant figures are rarely the busiest in the room. They are the most positioned. They design systems that produce outcomes repeatedly. They place capable people in motion. They oversee direction. And when results arrive, their name attaches to them naturally, not through force, but through structure. Stop trying to be admired for effort. Start positioning yourself to be unavoidable in outcome. Because systems do not remember who worked the hardest. They remember who stood at the top when the result arrived. That position is never accidental. It is constructed, deliberately, and once constructed, it sustains itself.